And I say this with the utmost respect. What the fuck happened to Ckay? At one point, he was everybody's favorite. And no, I'm not talking about the decline in numbers. Don't care about that. Everyone can see that. And it's always tough to follow a smash hit like he had. I'm more concerned with the music. The quality of the music. See, me, I've been a huge Ckay fan for a long time. I was jamming to Love Quantity before it became a huge hit. The one I listened to the most was the Kwame Eugene and Joe Boy version. I'm sure I got in there because of Kwame Eugene. And the very first time I heard about him was when MI mentioned him on this song.
My nigga, game over. Seek is coming soon. Everybody go see the evidence.
He said Seek. I didn't know who Seek was, so I thought he was a rapper because his MI and Chocolate City is full of rappers. He had these skits on Instagram where there was no light, and so he was turning the fan by himself and trying to sleep. And most of you will know that, but if by some crazy chance Ckay sees this video, he will know exactly the video I'm talking about. Very old video. And so I know how great of a musician Ckay is. Like, really, the guy is really talented. That's why I'm making this video. I think the quality of his music has declined, and I'm not going to just say, I don't like it, I just don't like the song. No, I'm going to give you proper reasons. But for us to understand the decline, we have to understand what made Ckay great in the first place. And most importantly, the purpose that Ckay's music was made to serve. Here it is in a nutshell. Write this down. Ckay makes the kind of music that you listen to under the blanket when the weather is cold, and you either have somebody over there under the blanket with you, or you're on the phone telling them how you wish they were under the blanket with you, so that you can secure your place in hell by doing fornication. Or you are just fantasizing about doing fornication, but you don't have anybody to do it with you, which is most likely where most of you are right now, let's be honest. And this showed up a few times on his project Ckay the First, especially with the first song, Down to Fuck.
Baby, are you down to fuck with me? So baby, are you down to fuck?
And on this project is where the smash hit Love Quantity, which became like the biggest TikTok song, biggest song in the world, appeared. Who knew? I was listening to that song like way before, and then like 2021 over there, it just became like the biggest song in the world. I was so happy. I had that feeling where you start listening to somebody when they are small and then they become big. But on Ckay the First, he was still doing like regular Afrobeat songs. He had not fully embraced the Afro-emotional Toto Mechanic fuckboy thing until he dropped Boyfriend, and this thing is great. I listened to this project so much, studied it from top to down, copied a lot of stuff from the project. Over here is where the singing to the nose appeared and became stronger.
Baby, one in a million, no, most beautiful lady I know. You're everything I need and more.
And over here is where his signature sound really was solidified. It was the chill guitar vibes, it was the ambient vocals and sounds. Show My Side with Amare.
Shawty send a naked picture, I just wanna wake up with your eyes.
Some of you already know how I feel about Amare. I love everything she does. And around that time, he featured on Ira Star's song called Beggy Beggy. Love that song. He did a toxic thing on that song too.
See, I let you on. You said before long.
One of my favorite songs in the world. I was telling somebody that this part, it sounds like something you can use for an old Nollywood movie. It fits perfectly. I can put it on any old Nollywood sad movie and it will fit. Boyfriend to me is Ckay's best work, his magnum opus, or whatever they say, whatever that thing is. The production, the writing, the melodies, the features, everything was on point. That song Mezebu with Oxlade and Kiddy, oh my god, that song is beautiful. Perfection. Those days as a Ckay fan, if I say anything about Ckay, nobody can argue with me. But these days the job has become a little bit hard, and that's why we're here to discuss. Boyfriend is like a perfect project. There's a violin melody in the first song that's very similar to a guitar melody in the last song. There's only a one-note difference. I don't even think they did it intentionally, but that's what happens when the art is brought to you from heaven. The connections are already there. You don't even need to make them yourself. They just happen. Boyfriend was great. He got some recognition, but it didn't really put Ckay on the map at the time. And then finally, God blessed him with the older song. You could not scroll on TikTok without hearing this song at that time. Like, this is one of the songs that was responsible for Afrobeats going international, really. That song and Essence, one of the, and I think Calm Down came later, but This song was one of the songs that really broke through, like really huge. But there was a problem after, and I don't know why it happened, but I know exactly when it happened.
All because of you, I be on the phone all night long.
God is Good, another smash hit, but I remember telling my friends when the song came out that I don't like this song. I don't like Emiliana. And back then I couldn't put my finger on it, and I thought people were pretending to like it, seriously. Now he was fully singing through his nose.
All because of you, I be on the phone.
I think at the time what I said was that he's trying to make another TikTok song, which is not a problem. Get your money. And it's obviously not fair to tell artists to go back to their old selves. It's very annoying. But when the old self is better than the new self, we can point that out. So then we had Sad Romance, which is where the problems got even much deeper. For me, this is where I began noticing this thing, this particular thing.
I
Leave me alone, she no leave me alone. She way too in love and she
No. Some people like Sad Romance, some other people didn't like it. I don't think it was a bad album, but Sad Romance was just very forgettable. Like, I listened to it twice that time, and I don't remember it anymore. Apart from one song that I really liked at that time.
She want to have my keys, but I don't want to have keys right now.
There's that harmony in the back where he sings, "She wants to have my keys." I love that shit. So now we have Emotions, his newest album. And I don't want to sound too harsh like a hater, so I'll do the music journalist talking. The very first song set the tone, no pun intended, for a forgettable listening experience. And you might think it's harsh for me to say it is a forgettable experience, but the point is, there's some of you right now who didn't even know that Ckay dropped an album. Exactly, and that is because the people who listened to the album didn't talk about it enough. Why? Emotion showed a little bit of Ckay's technical music ability with this chord change over here.
If you're looking for the love of your life, I promise I'm not the one. Feel like say go look another place.
That sounds very self-serving. You have to be baffing. You're not baffing. What is this? Self-serving in a way where the chord change is not there to serve the listener's experience, but rather to show the musician's ability to utilize their vast library of musical technical knowledge. Like the way I just used that long sentence to explain something that I could have just used 3 words to explain, which is that it wasn't nice. So I'm editing this right now, and I think I may have thought of a good reason why he put that over there. I don't know if he thought about it like that, but in the lyrics he's saying, "Be like say you go look another place," and in that moment the melody goes to another place, like out of the original scale of the song. I may be reaching over here. I'm just trying to make it make sense, you know, because it didn't make sense to me when I first heard it, but I may be reaching, but it makes sense, doesn't it? You go look another place. And in the melody also goes out of its own way to look for the love somewhere else. Alright, back to the video. Now don't get me wrong, it's not a problem to use weird chord changes or like technical music stuff. It's not a problem at all. But the question in my mind would be, does it serve the music or does it serve me? Sad Romance was like this a lot.
Guys, this album is heavily musical. Every music literate who listens to this album will love the album. You know, considering the chords, considering the progression, considering the style he used and all those things. Music literates will soak this album in. Yeah, so there's a lot of music theory that the average music listener wouldn't really understand or appreciate. You get me?
And that's what happens when it looks like you're making music for musicians, like you make things that other musicians would hear and like think is dope. Hey. Don't come and destroy my things. This happens a lot. Yeah, when it looks like you're trying to impress other musicians with your songs, you kind of alienate the fans, because especially because the music they fell in love with in the first place was not that kind of music. Ckay's early music was not this kind of stuff. There are bands like Snarky Puppy who know how to do that kind of music because their music is for musicians. A good example involving 2 white men would be Jacob Collier's music, which a lot of people say they don't like because it's too technical and too whatever. Other people also like it because they are musicians and they're more inclined to listen to that kind of stuff. And Charlie Puth, both of them are very technically, musically knowledgeable, but one makes pop music. If Charlie Puth decides to go and do what Jacob Collier is doing just because he wants to show off to other musicians, it won't work out because he doesn't have that fan base. Does it make sense? I may have said that too fast, but I hope you heard it.
How can I be so unpredictable? I can't believe I thought you were wonderful.
One thing that stands out to me on this album is the writing, and that is because the writing is far from outstanding by Ckay's own standards, which to me is Boyfriend. The lyrics and the delivery of the lyrics sounded like there was no intention behind it, or that the intentions behind them were not good musically.
Cause I might disappoint you, and then you hate me, and then you block me, you delete my number.
It sounds like he was just saying the phrases that came to his mind in the moment, which is not a bad thing if the things that come to your mind in the moment are tasteful. And in this song and most of the songs, the writing is insipid at best. There's so many melodies on the album that wouldn't fly if Ckay did not have great vocals. He successfully masks the poor writing with great vocals, which to me is not the best thing. These stretched out lines that he does. There's one where he said,
how deep is your love?
how deep is your love? We've come a long way from Boyfriend, you know. Just that we didn't go ahead. We didn't go a long way ahead. That's not all bad. I like Ckay.
Sex is plenty.
In My Bed is a nice song that was carried by the production.
You did turn me on.
Many of the songs are carried by the production, and he produced them. That's how great the guy is. The best song on the album, hands down, is Addicted, and that song is carried by the fact that the cavemen don't know how to miss. The problem is the nasal vocals and the guitar vibes that had become his signature sound were struggling to work for him over here, and I don't understand why. And it's not that the nasal vocals and stuff is the problem, because he has killed it with that same vibe before. Like in another one of my favorite Ckay feature songs, No Better, by Janelle Monáe.
Honey, steady and slowly, unholy, unruly, from my eyes only.
Love that song. Seun Kuti and his guys stole the show on that song with the horns at the end. But still, Ckay had a better verse on that song. So it's not that the mosquito in your ear vocals are bad in any way. It just didn't work over here. And I feel for Ckay in this regard. Because the difficulty with creativity is sometimes you can try something else and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't stick. You can do something that's worked many times before and it just won't work this time. And people try to explain it in so many different ways, but it just didn't work. It's a very hard thing to deal with because artists put their heart and soul into their music. But it's up to the artist to realize when something is not working before they put it out, or somebody around them or in the label or something should tell them that it's not working so that they can pull the plug. It happens all the time. It's a normal thing. When they were making the movie Toy Story 2, at some point they realized the movie was not nice. They were already about to release the film. They realized it wasn't nice. They pulled the plug, deleted the entire thing, remade it, and it was a great movie. So it happens. But maybe Ckay himself thought the album was great, which is fine. We are all entitled to our opinion. So yeah, I still want to ask you to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let me know what you think about the album. Did you listen to it? Are you hearing about it for the first time? I'm sure if that's you, put it in the comments below, because I don't know, many people just didn't hear about the album, they didn't talk about it, nothing happened. I think there might be some label issues involved. Maybe they want him to keep doing this thing because it worked before. He didn't mention that he had to push the album forward because of some powers that are beyond him. Whenever they start saying that, you know that there are label issues. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm wrong and why you think I'm wrong, most importantly. Or if you just want to insult me, just do that. Some of you do that anyway. I really love the Boyfriend album, but I still don't love it as much as I love you guys. And I'll see you guys in another video. Sing the song. My people, I will never ask you to like and subscribe.
People are gonna never ever ask you to like and subscribe, but you go fi share my video if you know you're feeling my vibe. People are